Hello. It is 4 o'clock. 4:01 on my watch. I'll give it another minute. See if anybody else jumps on. We have a couple people there. Giving you a little bit of a sneak peek as to what we're doing here this afternoon. Still working on this green piece here. Waiting for spring to come. Okay, we will get started, and I will introduce myself. I am Jess Campbell, Education Coordinator for the Southern Alleghenies Museum of Art, and we are doing Zentangles. I'm looking for a right size pen here. I have a micron pen that I'm going to be using today to show you some more patterns. These are a little more curvilinear geometric patterns. A little time consuming. So what we'll do, as always, we'll start off with our border. No need for any strings today. Strings are when you add lines inside your border to, help and change for patterns, such as this one. I had a string here, one here, and then where these three shapes are. This one's still a work in progress, but we're not going to do any strings today. Whoops. I messed up that one already. I'm going to say Gneiss is our pattern for today. That's the hardest part about this, I think, is learning to say some of the words once we get so far in. This is a real fun one. Takes a little bit of time. So once you have your border drawn, give a big circle in the center. You don't have to fill up the entire square or border. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even have to be perfectly center if you don't want. And then our next step is we're going to take our little circle and divide it into 8. So we're going to divide it in half again. And then we'll put an X through and divide it into 8. So we have 4 on each side. A little bit of math for you today. Okay, now our next step, I'm going to be moving my journal around. I do recommend, doing this on a good sheet of paper or in a journal so you can reference it. If you do it on scrap paper, you'll tend to throw it away. But our next shape, you're almost going to be making like the middle part of an M. Or you could say the seagulls when we used to paint when we were kids. So we're going to make those the whole way around. Don't have to be perfect. Again, I'm moving my journal. All my slices are a little different, and that's okay. Remember, these do not have to be perfect, everyone. And if I mess up today, I'm using a marker, so I can't fix it. So Kelly, if you're here, see, I already goofed up there, but that's okay. I'm gonna flip my journal back around. Don't mean to make you all dizzy. Sometimes it's easier if you're moving your image around with your hand. Okay, so again, a little M or a little seagull shape the whole way around on each, I guess, slice of the pie, if you will. So our next step then is to divide these into two. So I'm going to go around and do that. And you want to divide them where the point is from your bird or your M, whatever shape you might want to call it now. And there you have it. Although we're not quite done yet. The next step you can do is you want to take every other space and fill it in. Okay. I won't do the whole way around, but I'll do a couple. Maybe I'll do the top half. How is everyone today? Good, I hope. It's a little chilly outside today here in Pennsylvania. A lot colder than Sunday. The sun keeps peeking out though, so it's not too terrible. Okay, so I'm gonna quit there, but you guys can go, and fill every other one, and it gives it a nice little pattern. Actually, I can't even show you my practice one because I didn't color it in. But our next step for this, depending on what kind of design you have, you can, in this case, I'm going to have to go the whole way around. But if your circle happens to cut off on an edge, just give it the, like I'm going to do right here. I'm going to cut it off and pick it back up over here. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'll stop and pick it back up on the other side. And I'm just going to fill out my square. So you could give it a little aura. We've talked about that word before. If you haven't been here to join us, you can check out my other videos or ask and I can show you some examples. My drink of choice today is green tea with honey. I wasn't feeling so hot. I think just tired. So green tea sounded good today. So the other thing you can do, if you really want, you can add a little bit of shading to it. We'll do this half here. You can make it a little darker. And kind of fade it out as you go. And again, you can use a tissue and twist it up real tight. There we go. I have one laying around. This is not just a little piece of a tissue. And I just twist it and then fold it just to give myself a nice little point. And you can use it as a blending tool. Or if you have a tortillon, you can use that too. Tortillon is just a way to help blend when you're drawing. Can be used for graphite, pencils. So I'm just going to make it fade out a little bit. I've been using mine a little while, so it's got quite a little bit of graphite on it. But, that's another thing that you could do to give your piece a little dimension. So that is Gneiss, and it's a cute little kind of floral black and white design. Don't forget, you could use colored pencil if you'd like. Just a fun little design. So our other pattern, I'm going to draw, make sure I'm in my screen here. I'm going to draw another border. Keeping them kind of small today. They're a little detailed, a little time consuming. So what I want you to do with this one, get yourself a border. And this one's called Cadent. And here's what we're going to do. Start close to the top and give me 3 circles, fairly evenly spaced apart. They don't have to be perfect. And give yourself enough room for 4 rows. Okay? Now, so I have 12 dots, 3 rows of 4. And our next step, I'm going to use a clock as my reference. So we're going to start, trying to watch myself in my phone here so you can see my hands. I'm going to start at like 1 or 2 o'clock. And pretty much swoop down like an S shape down to 1 or 2 o'clock. Okay. And then what you can do is just start right above, like right there. I started a little dot right there. And then another S shape and down to 1 o'clock. Now I seem to come up a little too high on that one, so I'm just going to move down a little bit lower. And come down to 1 o'clock. As a matter of fact, if I was ending that one, here, let's try the next row. We'll try this one a little quicker. I just pretty much worked off the end of the one. It just looks a little better. And then what you can do when you're done is bring it down. So that's what I did not do on that last one. And one more time, folks. So start at 1, end at 1. And then when you get to the last one, you can pretty much curve it under to the bottom. I'm ending about 6 o'clock, but you could do like 6 or 7. Now, once we have that pattern done, not pattern, that series done, I guess, we will move on and go across the top. So it's pretty similar, except for we're working from like 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So you're starting up in here and coming over to there. So we're pretty much going under and over. Okay. Under and over. And our stopping point is kind of our ending point for this one as well. Okay, so we're getting these cool little shapes. There we go. Under and over. Now, when we finish, same thing, under and over, under and over. And then a variation of this I wanted to show you because it was kind of fun. I did a practice run. I do have one more pattern to show you, but we have time. So we have Cadent here. But just another variation. So if you wanted, let's start with 3 circles there, and I'll do 2 circles. I'm going to do another 3, and maybe I'll fit 2 in right there. Okay, so I'm kind of doing 4 rows, but I have a row of 3, a row of 2, a row of 3, and a row of 2 again. Now, what we're going to do is we'll start in row 1, and we're going to start about 1 o'clock, go under, and end at 1. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. Now this time, I'm going to start about 12 and go over, and you can quit about 1 if you want. I went a little farther, but that's okay. So what we'll do here is we're going to start about 7 o'clock and end at 1. And now you're getting this little triangle pattern, which is kind of fun. So it's a little bit of overlapping, which is okay. I'm going to start about 6 o'clock there and go and finish that one. Now, under and over, under and over. Seems to be our pattern. Under and over, under and over. And I'll finish this one off. Under and over, and then under and over. Ooh, I somehow did a square there. But I can fix that. Let's see. Under and over. There we go. Under and over. Under and over. And then I'll finish off this one. So you could do a series of triangles too if you wanted. I would probably throw another one here just to finish off my triangles. And there you have it. And if I had a dot there, I would do the same thing. And that is another way to do that pattern. I like the triangle version, just adds a little more interest, but each one is equally interesting. It almost reminds me of like a banner, a repetitive banner. So that is pattern number, I guess, 2A for us today. And the last one I have for you today is called Huggins. And this one made me giggle. I think everyone could use a hug these days. So we're going to draw another border. And again, I'm not going as big with these today as I usually do. And that's okay. So draw your border in. And we'll do this last pattern of the day. I would like to remind you that today is Giving Tuesday. And we are doing a Giving Tuesday campaign. Every dollar counts. Every dollar is keeping us here and bringing online programming to you, because we are all fortunate enough to be able to work from home. So if you can donate it, we would greatly appreciate it. But we certainly appreciate you being here and joining in on all of our classes. So for Huggins, we're going to do a row of 4 this time. You can do some smaller dots, doesn't matter. We're going to do 4 by 4. So get your dots filled in. Okay. Hey, Will. Who else do I have on here? I see a couple numbers, but no one else has said hi. So I will say hello and thank you for being here. Okay, so for Huggins, it can get a little tricky, not gonna lie. So we'll do the vertical lines first. So we're gonna work our way from top to bottom. The first one, I'm gonna say you kind of start at 1 o'clock or 12 and 6, just a curved line, almost think of a C shape. And then the next one is almost the opposite. Okay. And then we're going to go back to our C shape. So that's what your first line should look like. Once you have that, we're going to keep working our way across. We'll do the horizontal ones here when we're done. So these are going to be mirror images of each other. So again, I'm just going to start at 2 and go to 6. And then I'm going to do the opposite, because these are, again, mirror images of each other. Okay. So that's what we have. That's our first one. And then we'll move on to our next row here. So again, just working, with mirror images. There you have it. Okay. And last row. Again, mirror image. Now I'm coming close to the edge. That's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. If I go over my edge a little bit, oh well. Okay, so that is the first part. Phew! This one gets a little tricky as you go forward. But again, sorry, my emails are popping through. Now we want to bring this one in, so we're like kind of going 9 to 3. And then 9 to 3. So again, just we're repeating that pattern, but it's more horizontal. Then we're going to come underneath. There we go. Okay, so our next one, again, mirror images. So we're going to want this one to go in and this one to go out. In. There you have it. See, it does get a little tricky. Mirror image. I gotta keep telling myself mirror images. Gets a little tricky. Mirror images. There you go. Okay, folks. And again, we're mirroring, the one above it. And there you have it. Now, if you wanted, you could add a little bit of shading where some of these overlap if you prefer. Just depends on what you want. I'm going to make these ones here, say they're going over top, so I might add a little bit of shading, a little cast shadow there. Okay. You do not have to do this. It just gives you an option if you want to. if you just wanted to add a little bit of something extra to it. And then you could take your tortillon, or if you have a tissue, and you can blend it in a little bit. You could even use your finger if you don't want to get messy. You don't have to. All right, guys. So that is Huggins. I like that one. Just a little challenging. Takes a little bit of time. It looks really good. I'm looking at it through my phone. You know, practice these ones today. Show us what you got. That was what I started here. I started our first pattern here. Just figured I'd throw it in for something to do. This isn't my favorite design, but it was just a good practice area. Don't hesitate to practice on black paper or construction paper if you want. Doesn't always have to be white. If you wanted to paint a sheet of paper, I did watercolor paper here and just chose various greens because I liked it. And then I just started with my Zentangle patterns on there, utilizing some of the ones that I just taught recently and some of the ones that I liked. Don't really have a composition here, but I'm just practicing a little bit. So be sure to practice. Show us what you've got. Thank you. Got a couple likes there. This is good for relaxation. I know I'm asking you to be on a computer and watch me every day, but you know, this is something that you can sit and practice while you're watching TV or hanging out with the fam. I do this a lot when I watch movies, so you know, get creative, have a little bit of fun with it, and please share with me. I think it's a good relaxing thing to take your mind off of stressful things, school, being your child's teacher, working from home, you know, lots of things. Hopefully it takes your mind off of, but in any case, today is Giving Tuesday, so support Sama if you can. I will see you all tomorrow. We'll learn a couple new designs and do something creative tonight. I'll catch everyone tomorrow. Thanks for joining.